Good evening and welcome to the Craft Cave. Welcome to Midweek Deals Live, here live on The Art of Craft. And we are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. I feel like I say this all the time. I really, really do. But if welcome to Facebook and YouTube. A few people have asked, reason we switched to YouTube is so you can put it onto your main TV if you want to, although why you would want to I do not know, but if you do, you can do that through the YouTube app. We keep going on live on Facebook because it gets us out to the most people and anybody can watch. Absolutely anyone who falls onto the page can watch. And as we always say, if you can, share the post or share the live, or get your friends involved. There's still, from the days of when we used to do the sort of big craft shows, there's still a lot of people out there that don't know where to find us. And we want to give them a bit of company, to be honest, and a bit of the demos and things like that, because that's what we all loved about it. Ignoring the selling aside, that's what we actually ignored it. That's the bit that pays the bills, but the bit we all enjoy is actually the demoing. So what are we doing what are Midweek Deals Live? Well, we go live here an hour before Craft Cave. So Craft Cave will follow at 7 o'clock, and that will be just demonstrations. And I'm going to be answering some of your stamping questions in that. So if you have got any questions about stamping or anything to do with that, then you can fire them in now by putting a comment on Facebook only, because we can't take comments on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't see them. I have to keep flicking screens, and so I miss them. So we focus on just what's going on Facebook. So if you need to put a message on, pop it on Facebook. So that will be at 7 o'clock. But tonight we're going to give you another chance to look at what we launched on Sunday night, because it was Easter Sunday. So I know a lot of people are very busy Easter Sunday night, but we've also put some bargains on, because we always do, because that's what we like to do with this midweek deals. These are all deals direct from Crafts 2 and Art of Craft. And these are the cheapest ways to get a lot of these products, and a lot of them are exclusive bundles. So one thing I'm going to go through first is something people were asking about on Sunday's live on the craft store, which is the pens. We did the bundle with the pens included. So we did the bundle with the pens included of the 3 beautiful new stamps, and we also did the pens with them. And lots of people said, could they get the pens on their own? So we've made the pens on their own tonight as well. So if you wanted a set of those, Nicholas just said was playing with stamps and stencils this afternoon, so any tips will be great. Yeah, I'm going to go over masking, which people are always asking about, a little bit later on in Craft Cave. So if you want the pens, it's a selection of 8, so you will get a pure selection of 8, and I'm going to be quite thin. This is 8 that I've been using. So everybody gets like a brown or a black, or, a reddy brown or something like that. Everyone's getting a good mix of colours in those. And I split the other set. So that is the second set, which sounds bizarre. So the full set is like all of those. So splitting them into 8 doesn't actually reduce it, and it makes them far more affordable. So basically these are just £12.99, which is saving over £13, because these were £2.99 each a pen on the pens. So if you wanted the pens, and I'm going to be showing you again some more ideas of way to use them tonight, you can get just the pens. If you did miss out on the bundle with the pens and the stamps, you can get those. They are £29.99, which is crazy value. So you're going to get the 3 brand new stamps from 2J's, which are just beautiful. I will show you them on the overhead. But did I pull in? I did. Where did I put them? Honestly. Jane said I'm not disorganised, and then suddenly I am. There's a beautiful shop. This is one made by a lovely Leslie. Here's one from Julie with no line stamping, which is the Toadstool Circle. She's a beautiful stamp. And this is my favourite. This is the Teapot House stamp. So all 3 of those and the pens are £29.99. So if you missed out on that collection, and again, this is a new and an exclusive bundle. No one else will have it with the pens, and certainly not at this price. You can get those as well. So that's a really good deal. However, if you just wanted the pens on their own, you can get those at £12.99, and that'll give you a selection of 8 of the pens. But we've got a couple of new deals to add on tonight. The other thing I wanted to say is we have put on as well, people were struggling to get the water brushes, so we've put all sizes of the water brushes on. So they're all on that page. So if you have a look at the link that's actually got, I think Sammy's just put it out, but we'll put it out again. All of the pens are on there, but there is a brilliant deal on there. There's a 6-pack of them, of the small ones, at £8.99, which is ridiculous because it makes the pens like £1.30 each. And that's really good for adding in the sprays. Plus, if you missed out on that sprays deal, so I'm just going to have a quick look because I forgot. So if you missed out on the sprays, you can get the sprays. These are crazy. 6 of the Eyes Ink sprays for £19.99, and you can fill your water pens with them to make your own brushes. Plus, we've got the last of the 10 metallic ink pads, again at just £9.99. So have a look over on the Art of Craft page to see all the different deals. And remember, it's free P&P over £20. So you're going to save yourself £3.49 by spending over £20. So if you don't, that's why I say, don't just go for the pens and then go for a set of the 6 water brushes. It'll put you over, but your pens, you're getting £3.49 off because you'd pay that anyway for them. So that's one of the amazing deals that we've got tonight. I'm going to switch you to the overhead because I want to show you these stamps. Now, these came back into stock. So I was genuinely really shocked when I saw the price of these. These are stunning. These are A6 clear stamps, and these are the 2 houses. These were the most popular stamps that we did, the most popular stamp range we did last year. And these are just absolutely gorgeous street scenes, perfect for anyone. And of course, they fit in all of our framed eyes and everything else. They also fit really well in the squares. I'll show you that in a second. Now, what I've done here on the board is I've done some really simple colouring. This is what I'm going to demo for you first tonight, because that image is something that I know would scare an awful lot of people. So trying to colour that image in would be really quite scary. However, that's really easy. That is actually easier and quicker than doing that one. But what beautiful images. And if you want to see some more cards made of these, you can click onto the website, onto the Art of Craft, and you'll actually see on there that we've actually got, there's some card pictures on there, and there should be some in the galleries on the group. I don't know how many we were able to save, but there should be some. So these, both A6 stamps, and A6 stamps from us are like £9.99. A6 stamps from most other companies are £12.99 to £14.99. So you're already getting a bargain, but these are just £9.85 for both of them. So you're going to get both of those big A6 stamps for just £9.85, which is absolutely brilliant price. Really is amazing. So that's the first one I'm going to demo, but I want to show you the other bundle we've got tonight as well. So let's go to that one. This is really good value. I'm going to have to bring it in on 2 boards because they're so big. These are 4 of our absolutely beautiful 2J's floral stamps. Again, things you probably haven't seen for ages. So you're going to get all 4 of these. And again, these are on A6 cards. So these are big stamps. But you're going to get the rose corner, which has a beautiful sentiment in it, every day is a new beginning. And this blooming flower, which again, I'm going to demonstrate because it's so easy to colour. And again, has a really, I think it's a really fun sentiment, have a blooming good day. Both of them, or all of them, are clear stamps made in the UK. So they're all UK made. Oh, no, I've glued that one down upside down. Oh, and it's stuck now. Is it? Is it stuck? Oh, no. Quick, turn it round and no one will notice. But you can see the blooming, beautiful stamp. That's coloured using the pens. And again, I'm going to demo this one tonight. So easy to do. In fact, I think I'll probably colour that one first. Then you've got the beautiful rose corner, again coloured. But just plain, it looks so nice. But you're getting 2 more with this. You're getting 4 stamps. This is £17.96. You're saving over £10. What's that? Nicola said, these are beautiful stamps. I bought them for the original launch, so I must bring them out again. You've got to, Nicola. Don't forget them. So many people haven't seen these. And this is an exclusive bundle here. So your other ones, this is your third stamp, which is like your Lily Corner. I'm going to be using this one in Craft Cave tonight because it's just perfect for what the techniques I want to show you. With a wonderful sentiment, there's nothing more valuable than friendship. And then this one I thought we completely sold out. This is the anemones, so it's almost like a wild poppy, but you get three, you get a collection, a single and a little poppy head, and the sentiment, there's nothing more valuable than friendship. Again, absolutely glorious stamps. Clear photopolymer made in the UK. Just to show you, I've actually somehow got an extra set. So I've got an extra set of these, which I will ask a question a little bit later. Because I'm going to give this set away free. So we're going to giving away a free. If you're watching live, so if you're watching this back, you can't win. It will have been given away, but we are going to give this stamp away to somebody in the comments on Facebook. So I'm going to stick that to one side so I remember. But again, when you look at these coloured, that's just two colours again of the pens. But such an easy colouring to do. But black and white, they're beautiful. Then black and white of the anemones. And I know I should have done them in blue, but I really couldn't resist doing it in that beautiful, soft, reddy pink colour. But all of that colouring on that flower is just with one pen. It's just so beautiful and easy to do. Oh, Leslie just said she remember these. She made a set of notelets with them in a box. They're absolutely perfect for making note cards. Absolutely perfect if you're selling your crafts, because you can just stamp these and do a light wash over them, and it's so easy to do. So that's all four of those. So you're going to get all four of those, just £17.96. So you're saving £10 on that, which is crazy. And if you spend over £20, remember, it's free P&P. Which doesn't cost you anything. And we know, I mean, I went to the post office the other day and the postage is getting absolutely crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate colouring the flower first, because I thought that's a really easy one. Carol, not seen these stamps before. Someone is going to get a really good prize. Yes, they are. I really love the lily. Dawn, I will be seeing you tomorrow in Louth. I hopefully, I believe so. You did say you were coming to Louth. I'll try to get hold of Helen, see how many people are there, but I can't. So, I don't know. So, what I'm going to do is, I want to show you, first of all, how easily these stamp. Because you look at stamps like this and you seem to think they don't have that one. Oh, yeah, Nicola, the postage is crazy at the moment. Sorry, I'm struggling to keep up with the comments. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away to anybody watching live this stamp set, along with, and I will pop it into a card. So all I need you to do is to, I'm trying to think of a question that I can ask. So what can we do? Let's have a look. Trying to think. Right, okay. Oh, I'm really struggling now. I'm struggling to think of a question. Give me a couple of minutes. And I'll have a think of something. So I'm going to go with, and I mean, these have been stamped so many times, and yet they're beautifully crisp because they're photopolymer. So yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going to ask that one. All of our stamps, our 2J stamps, are made, and we make them under license, which means that if there is any artwork license, if I haven't drawn them or Jane hasn't drawn them, there is, we have paid for the license for you. But in which country are our stamps made? So where are our stamps made? And I will pick one of the winning answers to this. So put your answer in the comments. And I'm going to basically pick one of them out randomly, and I will send that stamp set out to them and a card. So, but which country are our stamps made in? Oh, brilliant. I was asked today to do a card making class in the village today for a group of ladies. Oh, that's brilliant, Nicola. So all I've done is inked this. If you need some tips, Nicola, give me a buzz. Not tomorrow because I'm working. I'm out at a demo. VersaFine Onyx Black. I always use Onyx Black. I think we might be sold out, but have a look on the website. We did have it on Sunday. So, but can you see how clean and crisp that's come out? And the reason I use VersaFine Onyx Black is I get a clean, crisp printed image. Let's zoom that down so you can see. I get a clean, crisp printed image, and it is waterproof straight away. And it's dry, so I don't have to worry about smudging it. So to colour this, I'm using the pens, and the pens are really, really clever. I think there's something really amazing about the pens. They are dye-based, so they're not alcohol-based, they're not watercolour, they're not felt tip pens, they are dye-based. And the dye base that we use on this is the same as the dye ink pads. So if you've got the Ink dye ink pads, it's exactly the same. It's an absolutely brilliant product, but it comes with a really fine tip. So if you can see here, look how finely I can colour. So all I'm doing is I'm colouring not even a third probably of the middle of each petal. And you can tell on our stamps when you see the lines that the lines denote where it's going to be darker. So it's not difficult to do. So I'm just going to follow pretty much the lines like that. And I know it's going to be darker in the middle of there. So the same things again. Following each petal line out about a third of the way. Now anywhere you've got a petal folded over like this is, yeah, then that would be darker. So I colour that in solid. But this is all I have to do, and I don't have to sit thinking, right, now I need to find another colour and then a third colour. It's just one colour colouring. That's why it makes it so easy. And that's why these stamps are so easy. Jane said this one is the easiest. If you've never coloured before, this is the easiest one you'll ever use. It really, really is. And I've got to say, Carol's just made a really good point. I hate paying for a stamp and it turns snotty and you can't use them. Waste of money. These don't turn snotty at all. These are photopolymer clear, made in whichever country it is everyone's suggesting. I'm not going to tell you to the things. Now, with the pens, once they're gone, they're gone. So all the sets we've got on there are on there. So once they've actually gone, they have gone. So we won't be ordering any more in. Now, normally with a watercolour pen or something like that, what I can do, Nicola, those thin wobbly ones they put in the magazines, yep, they're moulded and it's not the same. Look, there's no colour coming. There's hardly any colour coming out because they're dye pens. So it's not going to come out. So all I do is take the colour and just scribble it down onto my mat, and the mat is on the website as well. Pick up the colour with my water brush and look. It's exactly the same colour because it's watered a bit. It's paler. But there, it's almost 3D instantly. So pick up your colour, start closest and work to the edge. And your petal, it's like you've used 3 colours. So it's literally like you've used 3 colours. That's why these are so fabulous. And because it's a dye base, it's dry. So you're not having to think, oh, don't smudge it. It's just don't get your hand in that. Yeah. Leslie, who is our queen, our senior angel and queen of colouring, just said, these stamps are beautiful to colour in as they give you guidelines actually in the images. And they do. So the work's done for you because they're drawn by artists. They're drawn by different artists. So we pull together the best of that. Sarah James asked about the haberdashery. It's nearly finished. So now it has to go off for approval. So it'll probably go off for approval next week. And then we'll start looking if it's approved for sampling. So they are still in progress, but they've been done. Crochet's been added, knitting's been added. But can you see there straight away? Really easily. 3D flower. Yeah, really simply done. And it's just by using the water brush. The water brushes are brilliant because the water brushes don't flow until you squeeze them. So you're not going to flood your work. A lot of them, I remember one years ago, Japanese one, was everyone was using it and I couldn't work it. And the reason was it was free flowing. So it just soaked everything. Whereas, can you see there, it's almost running out. There's virtually nothing left on it. So it doesn't water down the ink unless I squeeze like that and get some water out to add some water to water it down. So, but you see there now, look. That's too pale. I've watered that down too much. When I've got the pen, I just scribble it. There we go. And it's a bit darker. And that's what's so fabulous about these. It's not like your aqua markers or anything like that. And if I'm not happy, I can add more layers on because it's dry and it's not good. What's underneath won't move. So that is probably the easiest colouring and the easiest flower to colour ever. And finishing this design off couldn't actually, again, be any easier. Because, see, look, it's dye-based, so the pink's still there. A little bit of... I'm going to take that off. Hand sanitizer, and we'll take that off. I've scribbled too hard, so I'll do that afterwards. You can't release haberdashery in September or October. Okay. So, anything for you, Nicola. So, I happen to have got 2 greens in my set, but the other one only has 1. It doesn't matter. I'm only going to use 1, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm following the dark lines and the bottom third. It's as simple as that. I'm not even being neat. So where I see I've got a lot. So this is why stamps like this, you don't want them too open because you don't know where or what to colour. This is what they will make such a difference on. So again, that's folded, so I know that's going to be darker. So I put that in there. There's a leaf there, which again is going to be darker where it touches that. Just go in and do the smaller bits. But this is what's fab, look. The tips are so fine that I'm not the best at this, but look, I don't go out the lines, which I always do. So, there we go, like that. So the same thing. I'm just putting it darker where there'd be a bit of shadow, but I'm following the lines on the stamp. Let the stamp do the work for you, and then scribble down some green, so you don't need 2. We can't do... I can't release anything really good in September or October because our Nicola will be in Australia and she'll go mad at me. And I want her to do some samples of it. So let's just add a little bit of water and it'll go paler. That's what's so clever. Pick up some darker shade. But can you see, I mean, I know I shouldn't be spending, a lot of the time on this, but it's because I've literally just, I want you to see how simple it is for anyone to do. So we just colour through like that. You see how 3D everything looks just from something as simple as a water brush. There we go. So it looks as if I've got 2 or 3 shades of green, and I haven't. I've just used 1 because it's dye based. That's what's so unique about it. But I've got that 3D look, I really think. Now, I've missed a couple of bits. around the outside. So I can go back in with the pen. I can just really darken the middle because it's dye based, so it won't reactivate it. So I can just go in and darken up that real base. So that's like going in with your third colour. And then I've got a yellow in my set. So I'm just going to scribble a little bit in the middle and we're done. That's how simple and easy that is. We've done it from scratch, and I think that's important. And one of the things I was saying about these stamps is that they all match the frames. So this is a frame made up from the frame makers in square, but look, that fits. Or I've got the smallest notch frame. Again, it fits. Or I can put, you know, the black on and it fits. But it really fills it, and I really think framing it just is amazing. But I'm gonna hold this one forward so you can see it forward a little bit, because I think that always helps. But you watched me colour that in no time at all. But it's the stamp. So if your budget stretches to it, and if you haven't got these, go for these flower stamps. You'll absolutely love them. And you're saving, I mean, they're 7, 14, 21. They're £28. They're actually more than that we've listed them, because they're £7 each. So you're going to get that one I've just used, plus you're going to get, and I keep doing this, I've got to make sure I remember to switch the camera. So you're going to get the one I've just used. You're going to get that beautiful anemone. You're going to get that lily corner. You're going to get the rose. And you're going to get that one. And of course, there's a sentiment with each one. And just to show you, and I'd always do this with my sentiment. So if I want to add a sentiment on here, I actually really like that way. So I'm going to take the sentiment, which is to have a blooming good day. I'm going to lay it down on my mat, get the blooming straight on one of the lines on the mat, then match up the lines on my press so I know it's completely straight. Ink that. I mean, I find myself using this all the time, but what I can do is I can actually, with the press, hover over until I find where I want it to go. I can't do that in a stamp press. That's why the precision press to me is perfect. So I can choose it goes there, stamp it down, and we're done. Have a blooming good day. Love that. And we've made that in less than 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah? And as Nicola says, the frame just makes it pop and makes them look classy and really expensive. That's what the frame makers are all about. That's why I absolutely love them. Just cutting some of the image down like that works. Letting it go off makes it almost look a little bit more artistic, to be honest, just like that. I'm only blocking out the little bit of design you see there, so you can't sort of see, you know, the excess design, but so easy to do. So that is really easy colouring using the stamps, but I want to show you using the pens, but I want to show you a different way to do this, and I want to show you really what I'd class as an even simpler way. So this time I've used one of these two fabulous designs, the street scenes, and these are ones that I know for a fact people would look at and will go, oh gosh, that's really difficult. That's really difficult to colour. And it's not if you do it the way I'm going to do it, which is, I think, really simple. So let's have a look. Let's get on the right bit. Sorry. So I'm going to take the brown. You could use a brown or you can use a black. But I think there'll be a brown. There's not going to be two browns in each one, so there should be a brown in each one. So all I'm going to do And you'll notice this is walnut, I think. I'm just scribbling down quite a bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to take the large water brush. And this is the larger one. It's on there, it's on the website. So this is really useful. It's like a large wash brush. And all I'm going to do this time is look. I'm going to colour each building. I'm not trying to be careful. Let's move it down so you can see. So I'm not trying to be careful. All I'm doing is just picking up this wash I've created of a brown. Could be a sepia, could use a yellowy tone. You could use any tone you want to. And just covering each bit of building. And honestly, this is the easiest way. And because they're dye-based, won't reactivate if I try and put other colours on top. This is what's so clever. So yeah, remember, if you want to be in a chance with winning that stamp set, you need, and I will be sending you a card. So I will send you a card as well out. You just need to say where our stamps are made. Where in the world are all the 2J stamps we've got on this show tonight, where are they made? What was that? Nicola, the water brushes are the best. I paid for my first water brush £9-10 and it just constantly flowed. Can you see this is running out? You know, I have to activate it and add some water. That's what I absolutely love about this. So with what's running out, I'm just going to scribble on the bottom. But I've already got lots and lots of shades. So I missed that, and I missed the little cat on top and a little bit of that washing. So just like that, coloured really simply. Easy. Really, really easy. So what I'm going to do now is take the same pen, when I remember where I've put it. So I'm going to take some more of this darker brown. So for this one, I'm using a darker brown. So you could use a dark brown, you could use a black, you could use and grey, you could use a yellowy brown. And all I'm going to do is just pick out the roofs to start with and the chimneys. It's the same shade. You see already that's starting to look. Then I'm going to pick out the windows and the brickwork, but hopefully you can see I'm not being careful. I'm really not. I'm not trying to stick to the lines or anything. I'm just trying to make, and a little bit of water to that one, I'm just darkening up the bits that'll be a little bit more forward. Just like that chimney. So nice and simple. Let's just darken that a little bit. Take a little bit more pen. So I'm not even using the pen anywhere on the paper at all. I'm just using the water brush and darkening bits that I think would be a little bit darker. And you do look, honestly makes you look as if you're really clever and you know what you're doing and you're good at painting, and trust me, I'm really not. So let's go in around that pavement, nice and simple. A little bit more water, pick it up. But can you see there? We've already got that Old England feel. it already looks as if we've spent hours painting it, and we haven't. This is what I'm better at, you know. This is what I love to do. I could send this to somebody and they would think I'd spent longer at this than any die cut card I'd ever done. And I haven't. So I can leave it like that. I can leave it monochrome, or I can just add in a little bit. If I go in now with the pen direct, it's going to be very bright. Thankfully you can't see that. So I'm just taking here, I've got a yellow, it might be an orange. Again, water. And let's just pick out some of that washing. Not well, not trying to colour really well. Think about Lowry and the way that he just did little bits of colour here and there. Yeah, we could, you know, I can make a couple of the windows coloured as well. I'm then going to take a little bit of pink, scribble some of that pinky colour down. And again, just adding that in to add those little bits of colour, as if you spent hours watercolouring this. And I think that's what we can do. I honestly promise you, absolutely anyone watching can do this. They really can. And anything you think, oh, I want it to stand out a bit more, colour it. Doesn't have to be the right colour. We're keeping everything almost in these, I'd almost say mucky tones, to be honest. But suddenly, anything that we put a bit of extra darker colour on will look like it's further away or anything like that. And then finally, I'm just going to take a little bit of green. And I'm going to take a little bit of the brown that's left. I'm going to muddy it. And just add a little bit of like almost a muddy green on to the trees and the window box. And I can, you know, I can make suggestions as if there's moss on place. You know, I can add this wherever I want to. You're just putting colour on. And every little bit of extra colour on works and adds on, I think. So that is our finished design. And I'll show you there. But that does look to me as if someone spent a lot longer colouring it than I physically have. Because all I've done is use that larger brush to make that wash. And you don't have to have a larger brush to make that wash. You can use your finer brush. You don't have to use the big one to do that. But what I do is I thought I would make this one up into a card. Just to show you how you don't need every die in the... you don't need to use every die in the book. You really don't. So this time all I've done is I cut this to 4x6. I've just cut a little matten layer in it, a little bit bigger, so 4 1/4, 6 1/4. I've added a little bit of brown. This is all from our canvas card. So this is from the Brown's canvas card. I've taken this. And these are the sort of things, I mean, I know, Emma, you've just said lovely. These, to me, are the sort of things that will sell really well at craft fairs and things. Yeah? Would the colours mix on the mat with the water? Yes, the colours mix, Karen. The colours, you can mix your own shades and colours with them. They mix absolutely perfectly. What I'll do is I'll show you on one of the roses, actually. I will show you how that works on one of the roses. So all I've done there is just frame that. So I've gone out by 1/4 of an inch there, added 1/8 of an inch on. I've then done a matte at 5x7 in this lighter brown, which just picks it up. Then a little bit of brown on there. And that's perfectly, you know, that's a perfect finished card, you know, that you would send to, you could send to anybody. Again, a little bit more masculine because we always struggle. But I do feel like we've looked like we've done some work. Yeah? So, Claire, if you ordered 2 times the 8 pens, will they all be different? We can't guarantee, Claire, that they will all be different. But if you put on the notes, if possible, make the pens different. I'm sure they will try, but they cannot guarantee it. So I don't want to promise you that you would get 16 different colours if you get 2 sets. Although it's something I would think about doing, to be honest. But they can't guarantee that because it is a case of while stocks last on these. So just so that everybody, you know, I don't want anybody doing it and then shouting at me going, you said, because so they will, I'm sure if you put on the notes, can you try? But there is no guarantee they're going to do it. So I've been asked to make some cards and things for a Fate tabletop sale, supported living place where I live. Brilliant, Sarah Jane. Honestly, hand-coloured stamped images are some of the easiest ones to sell to start with. Everyone thinks it's the really fancy die-cut cards that we've made. And they're really a thing of joy. So they're actually a real thing of joy for us. But I think that would probably sell better. So I can't remember who asked, but somebody asked about mixing the colours. So I'm going to go back to the beautiful floral stamps when I find them. There we go. Clicking through all over the place. So I'm going to show you how they do mix. So I'm going to start with the yellow and I'm just going to colour one of these roses. So I'm going to colour the big one. And again, can you see? I'm just going to come in a little bit more. There's little dark dotted lines to show you where the dark goes. So just follow those. Follow those little dotted lines like that. I'm just going basically a third of each of the petals. So I'm going around the inside line, which are denoted, and then I'm going a little bit round the outside line, because you see there's a few little dotted lines around that outside line. So I'm just almost going round and sort of doing the rim around the outside of the flower and the inside. Where there's the dotted lines, put a little bit more colour. So there we go, got a little bit more there, so just like that. So colouring it round. So this is something, again, most people... Janet McRae, I sell more of the coloured stamped images. A lot of people do, Janet. From what people have told me at craft fairs, I know the only person I've actually physically been able to visit at a craft fair was Julie. And she hand-painted, and it was her hand-painted stuff that went really well. So you see in this middle, there's a load of lines, yeah? So I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to colour in. I would suggest these, if you want to try colouring some images, go for the flowers if you struggle, if you're wondering what. Go for this flower set, this 1796 flower set. The simple reason is these are the easiest to get coloured started on, but will give you the most impact. Because that is where we are. That has, to me, has so much impact, and you saw how quickly that was done. So that's where I would go to. So there's my rose coloured in a sort of orangey yellow colour. I'm just going to lay down some of that colour. Take my small water brush. Like that. The other option is try the street scenes and try that technique I've just done, Sarah Jane. That's a really good one to do. So pick up some colour and just colouring over. I'm not trying to get inside the lines or anything. I'm just going all the way over. just like this. And I think I wanted to pick I needed to pick for this a lighter yellow, but I haven't got a lighter yellow in this set, so we go with what we've got. So that's already very 3D. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, Susan. These, once you see them done, it makes such a difference. Now, let's say I don't have an orange in here to darken it up or anything. So I'm just going to take some of the red colour I've got, because there's 2 or 3 different reds. Yeah, some of that orangey yellow I've got. Take my brush, it's dry, and mix. And what I'll have now is, look, let's add a little bit of water. What I'll have now is an orangey colour. So what I can do is just add some sort of low lights into that middle, onto some of these petals. So I've got a couple of tones, but it's not the same colour, because I mixed the yellow and that red together to give me an orangey shade. I'm going to take some water and really wet that down and just almost bring it all together by making sure I've sort of covered it all over with a glaze. You can also make a background with the pens and then stamp on top. You can, which is a brilliant one. But that's got that to me looks as if I spent ages at it with pens. Really, really makes it pop. And let's go with the leaf. And again, mixing colours. So I'm going to lay down some green. And I'm just going to put some green on the leaves that are around that rose I've coloured. Just like that. Yeah. But I want to bring in another green. I want it to lighten at the tip. Yeah. So there's my green. I'm going to take some more of that yellow. And I'm mixing them next to each other. I'm not going on top of them because I don't want to mess them about. And then mix them. Oh, I didn't mean to use the large one or the medium. I meant to use the small one. Let's just squeeze out to get it back to neutral. Yeah, and then we can pick that. But look, I've got a greeny yellow, a verdanty colour. So yeah, they mix perfectly. I almost want to carry on now. This is the problem when I do this. I do want to sort of almost carry on colouring them, but I will stop in 1 second, I promise. I'll just do these ones. I want to use up this green to show you how different the colour is by the time we get to the end of it from the original shade. But you see there, we've got a completely different look and a two-tone look to our flowers. Let's go forward. You can see there better. So yeah, it's like a vintage. Actually, that does look as if it's quite 3D, that rose. Yeah, but we've got that two-tone look in those leaves as well, which I think works absolutely beautifully. So I'm just going to run through some of the different options. Remember, if you missed out on the amazing stamps that we did, that we launched on Sunday. So these come with either on their own or 8. Do you need to clean water pens once you finish with them? I never do, Susan. No, I just put the lid back on and then just squeeze some water out next time I come to use it. So yeah, no, you don't have to at all. So just to run back through the stamps that we launched on Sunday night. So you've got that beautiful toadstool circle, which we've got there. There it is, plain. There it is, coloured again with the pens. It's why we included 8 pens inside the set. So that's why with this it's $29.99, but you're going to get all 3 stamp sets and 8 of the pens. So that was our beautiful circle. Then we've got our boutique. I think this is so sweet. It really is. Our little clothes shop. And again, brilliant sentiments in here. So you've got shop till you drop and sent with love. But again, that's it. Just plain, stamped out, not printed, on with VersaFine on normal smooth card. There's the shop. There it is coloured again using those beautiful pens. So I've just used the pens. So watch back the show if you want to see how these were coloured, because this is the card I made on Sunday night in that sort of sepia tones, but with the beautiful colouring on there. Yeah. Oh, Susan, I'm waiting for these stamps and pens to come, so looking forward to using them. You'll love them. The stamps are beautiful. They really are. And then the third one we have on here is our Teapot House. This is my favourite. Makes me think of Chulton and the Wheelies. Yeah. Karen Dovey, our John ain't got time to wash stamps or clean pens. He has to keep designing. I do. I'm struggling for time at the minute. I haven't actually touched that haberdashery set since Saturday, and I need to get that finished. It's going with some other bits as well, though. So that one, again, in this you get the Home Sweet Home. I love this font. It's a new font we haven't used before. But you've got that. But again, look how gorgeous they are. Just stamped in black and white. So useful. But then again, coloured with the pens. And that's all I've done. I've coloured with the pens. And if you're into more colouring, then we've put on the back of the packets the colouring that our wonderful Leslie's done with her Copics. So if you're into your alcohol pen colouring, you've got a colouring guide on there on the back of every single one of those stamps. You've got an actual colouring guide on there, which I think just really, really helped. Yeah. Oh, my excitement was dashed when I saw a parcel at the door and it was hubby's ant traps. I'm so sorry, Nicola. It wasn't. Yeah, I'm desperately waiting for a parcel that's coming tomorrow and I won't be here. So that's really, 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 really annoying to me. I can't remember where I've put the... Oh, there they are. So the other options we've done tonight. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get a set of 8 of the pens if you want those just on their own, and it's $12.99. Obviously the picture shows more, but that's the picture shows all the colours there are. So you know that there are no dog colours to choose from. So you can get those at $12.99 if you want those. We've then got that amazing bargain of... No, the colouring was Leslie. Sorry if I said Nicola. It's Leslie that did that one. It's Leslie that did our colouring. These beautiful house and street signs. And these ones are just £9.85. You're saving £10. You're getting them... You're buying one, getting one free on that one. And then finally... tonight we've had those 4 beautiful images of... Here we go. See, I can find everything eventually. Of the anemones, the lily corner, the bloom and the rose corner. Absolutely stunning designs. They really are. And we've got some lovely... We've got 2 brand new 2J stamps coming out in a couple of weeks. So I think that's everything I need to run through tonight. So put that onto that, take that off, say hello. So I will be back in about 7 minutes at 7 o'clock for Craft Cave Live. So if you can join me for that, that'll be brilliant. That'll just be more demoing on stamping, but I need your questions for that. So pop over to Facebook on the John Next Door official page, which is where we do John Next Door Craft Cave Live, and we have done for like 7 years. And you can ask any questions, and I'm going to show you some stuff about masking, because I know lots of people are always asking about masking, and it is quite easily. We'll try and do a little bit of colouring. So we'll try and do a little bit more. We'll try and do a little bit more colouring and a few more little bits like that. I should use the sprays because we've got the sprays still on special offer and things. So have a look at the Art of Craft page. So have a look at the Art of Craft page for tonight. There are special exclusive deals for tonight. Amazing prices with free P&P over £20. The winner is Susan Mickelbatch. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, because I picked it out randomly when it was going down. So Susan, if you can private message either the Art of Craft or John Next Door official page with your address, then we will send you your stamp and a card out. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be back on Craft Cave Live at 7. So join me on Craft Cave Live at 7 o'clock, which is in 5 or 6 minutes. And I'll run through what we're doing. There's no Sunday night because we're at Lincoln this week. So there's no new launch this week. There's an amazing Saturday night Art of Craft deal. I was shocked when Jane told me the price. She went, oh, it's got to be a little bit more pricey. I thought, oh, here we go. And then she told me, I was like, wow. That's crazy. Beautiful collection of dies and papers that we've got for that. But if you can, join me for that. But I'll give you all the details of everything. We've got a little bit more time over on Craft Cave Live. So